All right, guys, welcome back. BDTR Wednesday Night Live. We call it Wacky Wednesday, and it's been pretty crazy. So if you guys, pun intended, right?
Yeah.
So if you guys are wondering what happened to the page, the corruption page, we're still not sure. So, and this is what Facebook tells us here. If content goes against, page has been suspended. If content goes against standards, the page is at risk for restrictions. Good news. No violations to show. Restrictions. Your page is restricted because it didn't follow community standards. Okay.
Makes a ton of sense, doesn't
Now
it?
that that's out of the way.
Did you tag or put a link to the new page in here? Because I see there is.
I think it's that the pinned comment should be the link. I made a new page and put
Okay.
the genitals have returned, so no big deal, guys. And for all the, the Karens and everything, well, it's twofold. So, you can give them a hand, like, no, we got him. The guy says mean things. This is like the third time this page has been taken down, okay? Like, it's, I think like 7,000's like about because that's where the other ones were. So it's like once you get 7,000 followers, Facebook's just like, oh, you guys are pissing off too many people. But the other fun thing was, so when we put the link up to the backpack program, now if the page can't be seen by anybody except the admins, the link's gone. So keep helping cabs, guys. Like you're.
But I did actually put the wish list pinned in the comments below. And also, forgive me, guys. I'm trying to answer the comments, but I had to get a new phone because I finally broke my iPhone. Thank God, actually, at this point. But if I'm slow in the replies and reacts, this phone's really different than my other one, and I'm still learning. So I'm sorry, but I am here, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, we're
guys
doing our best. Those things are hell. But the LOLCOW was perfect.
Oh yes.
So anyway, because I'm sure if because Krazy Kriss is back on her fucking psychosis now, because and so funny story with Krazy Kriss. So she literally has a post on her page about I guess this Isabel girl did go to her house like twice or something. I don't know what was up with that. No. But she was claiming that Josie was with her the one time and they were trying to steal her dogs. And it's like, and this is the same woman that her sister told us on the podcast that she basically got fired from her job, which we did confirm. We did actually confirm through State College PD that she actually did work there, as hard as that is to believe. She did actually work there at one point. Didn't sound like they're super fond of her, regardless of what she tells you. But whatever, she can live in her delusions. I mean, I think at this point, if she could like murder a village of children and she thought it would make us look bad, she'd probably just do it. Like, fuck it. Gotta get them.
I don't understand why. I'm like tapping the crap out of my phone screen, trying to like when people are saying hello. Hello, everybody. I'm not ignoring you. I swear. This phone just doesn't do anything like the other one did. There, we got it. Finally, it liked it.
She's used to the iPhone. She's got to like unstupefy her brain to be able to work an Android.
Listen, okay. The only reason I got an iPhone was because the last time I had to get a new phone was because I did like I did this time, completely destroyed the last one. So it's been like 7 years almost since I've had a new phone. I'm not happy about it, guys. I don't like new phones. That means I have to relearn everything about the damn thing.
Yeah, I know.
I don't like it.
My biggest thing with what I hate about phones is just how they're just fucking expensive. I mean, I didn't like when I had to pay like $20 for a flip phone back in the day.
I would gladly. I literally went into Best Buy and I was like, hi, here's what I have. It's completely broken, as you can see. Give me the cheapest thing that you have as far as Android, because I don't want another iPhone. The cheapest one was sold out. I got the next cheapest one, but it still hurt when she told me how much it was going to cost.
So, I guess we better, to stick to the issues, Krazy. I'm getting pissed now. But, so I got a phone call today from somebody from Community Action, and they were like, well, we heard you wanted to talk to Renae or whatever, so what did you want to know? And the big thing was I wanted to confirm that she still worked there. They confirmed that. Now, apparently she's not there now, and I didn't dig too much into that because, you know what, at this point, like, I don't really care. If she's still employed there, then whatever was sent in was false, at least partially false. And I don't know, because I don't know if this person was just trying to smear her, if they believe, because some of the other info that the individual I talked to on the phone, because I don't want to name drop them, And I'll be like, well,
Holy crap.
Renae. Okay, well, you bitched about it when I did that, so. And actually, I didn't even make the original post, so, whatever. You guys, feel free to blame me. I don't fucking care. Like, that's fine. So, but I am the one that was trying to get to the bottom of what the fuck was actually going on. And by the way, for those of you that were quoting the, this article in the paper, do you know how many times the Altoona Mirror has to do revisions? Okay. One specific example I can think of is John Wineland's trial. They put in big, bold letters, convicted, 1 felony. Well, he wasn't convicted of any felony. So the next day they run a little, a redaction correction. It's like this big. It's like, oh, by the way, that wasn't true. So don't fucking come to me and be like, that's the Mirror, it's gospel truth, because it's not. As a matter of fact, we're a hell, like percentage-wise, we're a hell of a lot more accurate than they are. So.
And like we even said in the original show, like, we were not going after this Renae lady.
No.
And we were just asking questions. So for everyone to continue to be like, oh, you're in a smear program, blah, blah. No, we're asking questions because this is a good program that we didn't want to see have a negative, idea behind it. We didn't want the public opinion to be so sour because of a rumor. We were just asking questions like any of you were probably asking.
How did we hurt the program? We gave everybody the link to the bulletproof way to donate that you don't, if money was you were worried about that, whether it's unfounded or not, donate through the Amazon link. It's real simple. So
exactly. Before anybody comes in here and bitches that blah, 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 we did. As soon as we put that link up, we went on and we picked a bunch of the different bulk items. I'm not going to drop the number of what we spent because that's not the point. But the point is, it's a great wish list. It's a great way to actually help people if you're ever unsure of something. Any program, whether it be this one or another one, if they have a wish list that shows that you can directly order what they're asking for or claiming the money goes to, I personally feel more comfortable with that. And frankly, I treated it like I was a 6-year-old, looking at the food. I was like, ooh, Pop-Tarts? They have a big box of Pop-Tarts? I'm going to get that for them because I know that's what I want.
There's a good point by Brian there. He says,
I'm trying to like it and I can't.
Not sure what to believe anymore. Altoona's too corrupt. No one can be trusted. And that's the whole thing is, can
you like the last 2 comments? Because it's not letting me on this stupid phone right now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's the problem is we get so many times where there are people stealing from organizations. So when an allegation like that comes out, it's not like, oh, this obviously is bullshit. And and even the individual I talked to today was like, yeah, this person has they know inside baseball on what's going on there for the amount of information that was put out. And I have my I'm not throwing any more names out because everybody will just fucking cry about it. We don't have any, So, all right, whatever. So you're not getting any names. Karens.
Miss Deb, absolutely 100% agree that people should donate because for those of you who don't know, we're not even the same state. And I still went on there and ordered stuff because I believe in this program. It's a good program. I want to see kids get food.
Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, we moved out of state a little over a year ago. Okay. Yeah. And I would say go back and look at the page, but you can't anymore. There was a serious posting gap because for almost their first year down here, I didn't really care what was going on up there. And then I found out that Ted Simpson was running for fucking county commissioner in Huntington. And, we all thought it was a joke at first. And then his buddy that runs the car dealership makes this post with, Ted's clean background check and basically threatens everybody more or less. Like, oh, if you say anything bad about Ted, we're going to expose you. And I was like, all right.
Go for it.
You son of a bitch, I'm in. So, and that's how it all got started. And then it just kind of kept going. And I really wish maybe we would have focused a little bit more on Reader in the primary. Maybe we could have knocked him out back then. But Ted's definitely the worst of the two. So whatever, his 6.5% of the vote was pretty telling.
And the fact that he went on there and was, backing Reader and Reader still has not. I'm sorry, regardless of anything. I joined the Navy. And those of you who can read my shirt, I was actually in the Navy. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, excuse the hell out of me. What?
Yeah.
No, we don't want you. We don't want you. No way we would have taken you.
Actual veterans,
And again, if the other page wasn't taken down, I was actually getting ready to post my DD214 before people started crying about, oh, where's yours? Your claim.
Well,
I have one.
So here's the thing too with, I mean, the page getting taken down, obviously it's like, okay, whatever. Like I said, this is the third rodeo. But the thing that's absolutely crazy, especially just with like Paul and the Krazy Kriss situation, that guy has to be one of the biggest fucking frauds. I mean, he's not quite at Ted's level, but he's close.
He's getting there.
And literally, that's the whole feud that started up with this Krazy Kriss just losing her fucking mind because we called out Paul for being a piece of shit. And it's like of all the hills to die on, why would you pick? It's a weird dynamic. I don't understand it. I don't pretend to understand it. I don't care. I mean, that ever since that Rick D sent that video in and the reel went nuts, it was like, I forget what it was. It was like almost 1 million views or something.
It was like 800,000 something or other. It was getting close.
Yeah, I'm sure they were mad about that. But back to
to reiterate one last time, guys, if you are commenting right now, I am reading it. And if you see me with the angry face, I'm trying to like it. It's not letting me, okay? I am reading it. We do see it. We do appreciate what you're saying. Damn phone. I can't figure it out. It's just doing all kinds of weird stuff. I don't know what to do. I can't even like see the comments. I keep clicking back.
Yeah, well, and so the other thing with the backpack program, so we were sitting around, we're like, you know, what can we do to trying to ramp this up? Because we know they need money or whatever. So what I want to ask everybody to do, whether you're fans of us or not, because you should be, cool with helping CADs no matter what. What I would do, on Amazon, what is the cutoff for free shipping? Is it $35?
I don't quote me exact. I believe it's about $35. Okay. It depends, I think, if you have Prime or not, but I'm pretty sure it's $35. I could be wrong. So
my recommendation to everybody is, because I mean, we've all played that game on Amazon, like, add 1 or 2 more things to get free shipping. And I'd rather see, if you're going to donate, I'd rather see all the money go to the supplies than cutting into shipping. Now, if you can only afford to donate a couple bucks, that's fine, but if you can afford to donate more, do it. I want to see how much, and we are going to do a competition.
Damn right we are.
Because everybody if you think you spent a lot and you want to send us a screenshot of the receipt, whoever wins at the end, whoever donates the most, we'll make a post about you. And I know that's not like you're getting a Ferrari or anything, but you should be doing it for the right reasons anyway, helping cats.
But honestly, even if you don't win, like, I would like to make an album and just continue to like stack the photos of all the people that donate to, like, in a way, like low-key shout out everyone, but like highlight, so to speak, the person who donated the most that month. Because honestly, I did it once this month. As soon as we go into next month, I plan, and I'm going to, as long as I humanly possibly can afford to, every time I get my paycheck, I'm going to go onto their wish list. I'm going to make sure I order X amount of dollars every single time.
So you guys better get to work and start donating because,
Listen, I already had a crazy idea to try to buy the Amazon wish list out, and then I saw what was on it, and I was like, okay, maybe I can't do that, but I can tackle it a chunk at a time.
Well, and that's the thing. And guys, because, all these idiots in the comments, oh, you're ruining this program or whatever. I want this fucking program
to blow up in the best way possible.
Yes. I want to make sure I want to be the point that the news has to do a story of, wow, they've got so much shit that they like need a warehouse now.
Yeah. I want to hear that they actually need people to stop for a minute so the stuff doesn't expire before they get to use it all up.
That would be hilarious.
That's what I want. Especially with Christmas coming up, the one thing I want to give more than anything, I want to guarantee as many children as possible meals.
And that's the thing. And a lot of you guys know I'm not a big fan of nonprofits or anything by any means, because a lot of people, they basically, they know how to play, and it's not hard, which is why it's even more intriguing to me when somebody absolutely refuses to do a nonprofit and is just taking like cash app donations, because like, oh, that's not suspicious at all. But this really, as far as donations go, is probably like the most bulletproof thing I've seen in a while. Because it's literally like you're making an Amazon order and it's just shipping it to them. So like It can't really get any safer as far as, all of that's going there. It's not like you're donating $100 and 30 of it's going to actually help the kids, which is the case with a lot of organizations. So,
which is unfortunate, but that's also why I love, and I really hope that the more we talk about this, that maybe that kind of gets the wheels turning for other nonprofits that are just starting out and they know that they don't necessarily have like the public trust yet, that they can go ahead and get on there and make their Amazon wish list to show like, hey, we're genuine about what we want to do with this. So like, want to get them food? Here's the way to do so. 'Cause
yep.
like I said, I went on there and the stuff I was looking at, I was like, Pop-Tarts. Ooh, mac and cheese. Mac and cheese, babe. Ooh, tomato soup, and it's getting cold out.
And they have canned tuna.
Listen, I absolutely hate everything about tuna personally, and I know that if I was a child and any food is grateful, but like if I had the option between a can of, chicken noodle soup or a bowl of macaroni and cheese over a thing of tuna, I'm taking the mac and cheese. So that's just me personally. Yeah, I just
used
don't
to
like
literally like I was so lazy sometimes. I just pop the can open, like throw some brown mustard in there, and just eat that shit right out. Like I didn't
I
care.
remember when we first started dating and I came over and saw you sitting on the couch eating exactly that. And I looked at you and I was like, what the hell?
Not a joke. Not a
No,
joke.
no, I was horrified, frankly, because I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? And then I proceeded to go through his kitchen and his cabinets and I was like, no, put that shit down. I'm going to make you a proper meal. And guess what? You've never been allowed to eat that again in my presence. Because hell no. I'm sorry. I personally hate tuna that much, guys. All right. I'm sorry. There's not a lot of food that I hate a lot, but it's like tuna and mushrooms for me. That's just me.
So, does anybody remember the Natalie Holloway case? Because I distinctly like this was a huge deal when she disappeared, and it was kind of one of those deals where they pretty much knew the guy who did it, but I think his dad was like a judge, and it was in Aruba, so like it was, you know, pretty much anytime you go outside the United States and you're an American, you just need to be careful. But I guess
Hang on real quick. Miss Deb had a really good point here.
Mhm.
If I can pull the damn thing up again. I'm sorry. I hit a button and now I can't see anything. Okay, there we go. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of disappointed that none of them have highlighted this program, the backpack program before, because like we said, until we heard about this rumor, we didn't even know it existed. So realistically, how many of you actually even knew it existed before now? Good, bad, or different, hate us or love us, like we brought attention to this program and that was the goal.
Whether or not they'll get more donations, I don't know, but I guarantee there's more people that know about it than probably ever have. So,
and that's a good thing.
That's yeah.
And especially now that it's been more so clarified that it was in fact a rumor, that also, like we said, it's better to talk about it and get it out there and figure out exactly what's going on than to let it fester and people just have a bitter opinion about it and never find out if it was true or not. It's better to talk about it.
Well, and it's like, and I don't know if like people don't realize this. Like, any of you guys want to reach out to the page or anything, like you can tell us stuff, and we're not just gonna like we're not out to get anybody except like Paul and Ted, because fuck them. But because I couldn't have a conversation with either one of those clowns anyway. But if there's something going on, or somebody's made allegations or something comes across, message the page. And you don't have to message it basically telling, oh, you better take it down, or, that's defamation, and, be reasonable. All that was posted was a screenshot from a profile that sent in some allegations that due to how specific they were, it seemed very legit. I mean, when I read that, I was like, well, might be something to this.
So let's talk about it. Let's figure out what actually is going on about it.
Well, and I think too, like that source needs to fucking reach back out and explain themselves, because I'm kind of a tech guy. I might be able to rip an IP address out of a Facebook message.
You're being polite by saying might.
Yeah, but rip is aggressive term. I probably that's harassment. You said you were gonna rip my IP address out of my message. I guess the Dementors aren't gonna join us tonight.
No.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm trying to answer the comments. This is so goofy right now with this new phone. I think it's just still not familiar with where, like, how when you get a new phone, especially with a touch screen, it takes a minute for it to figure out how you're touching it, I guess, if
Well,
that makes sense.
I know that's one thing the Apples are better at is the touchscreen. So the Androids are just a little weird. But yeah, it's worth not having an Apple device, in my opinion.
On that note, if anybody in the comments has an Apple device and has any kind of advice how I can possibly recover my photos off my phone, I'd really appreciate it, because that's the only thing I'm upset about right now is I had 15,000 plus photos and I didn't have a lot of them backed up, which is my own fault. But the screen lights up, it powers on, but
I'll see if I can break into it.
Please. I just, right now, what I noticed is at the top of the screen, I can push down on it because it's separated just enough. I think it's not able to register any kind of touch on the screen for it right now.
Yeah.
So I can't open it. If I even could get it to like do the Face ID thing, I could get it to unlock. And that's all I need to be able to plug it into the computer and get my photos off.
Right.
So again, if anyone in the group knows, and if not, I know you'll figure it out. If not, but like I figured I'd at least ask. I don't want to lose the photos.
For old people. So, yeah, if anybody wants to call in, 412-440-3484.
Why is it saying I'm offline? Okay, it's fixed. That might be half my problem. I think my phone is having issues with connection right now. That might be partly why.
Which Wi-Fi are you on?
I have no idea. I think it's probably just a regular Optum one.
Yeah, I'd use the other one.
When we get done with the show tonight, you can help me figure this out. Like I said, I feel like a kid. I have no idea how to work this damn thing. I've never been so like, what the hell am I doing? Crap, I'm not trying. Kylie, I didn't try to like that response because I'm trying to angry react at it too, but it's not letting me. I'm sorry.
I'll see if Tawny's exactly right. Communication's key. And I get so sick of these fucking idiots. Who do you think? You can't demand anybody. Like, no, I'm not demanding you do it. But if you don't want to talk to me, don't cry when, like, your side of the story doesn't get put out. All right? That's fucking common sense.
Look at that, Mr. Scott.
Barger's back.
I'm trying to like these and I can't. Can you go back and fix the one to Kylie? I didn't try to like it because that's not something to like. It's something to angry react at. That one right there. Yes. Thank you.
There we go.
Sorry, guys. You can tell I totally have training wheels on right now.
Approximately 60% of Altoona area's school districts below the poverty limit. I think even just in Pennsylvania in general, it's a pretty high percentage. But, like, down here, too, it is generally the cost. So, I mean, even, like, when I was in the Air Force right outside of D.C. back, and this is 2009, 2010, roughly, before and then after I got back from Iraq, I think it was like $1,500 for a not great apartment down there. So, obviously around that, but back then, in Altoona, you can get an apartment that size for like $350, $400. Can't do that anymore, but just goes to show that cost of living's, because that's what gets me, hopefully, I hope Tim Baker's in there and he can come cry about capitalism some more. But here's the biggest problem I have when they do the argument of, living wage. Well, what the fuck does that mean? You can't just you can't just say $20 is a living wage, because it depends on where you live, what the cost of living is. Yeah. They try to simplify everything that, to a talking point. That's not realistic. Because I probably averaged like, $14, $15 an hour the whole time I lived in Altoona and could afford that house and everything. Then I unfortunately drove up to State College for like 3 years for like 12 something an hour. That place I still think that place, they were like just laundering money, because it was the guy that owned it was from Taiwan, and they would do weird shit. Like they'd buy X amount of pounds of material for, however, like $5 a pound, and then send it back over at either higher or lower price. It was just bizarre. So, because we always used to joke that, someday you'll come to work and the FBI will kick the door in. So I definitely don't miss working there. That was when I left and I just started doing Uber, because it was like I was making more money hanging out in Altoona doing Uber than I was driving up to State College to work in that shithole. So
I loved Uber for me personally because
Tim
especially since for those of you who don't know, I have Crohn's. And my Crohn's decides randomly that it wants to kick my ass occasionally. So working a regular job is nigh impossible at this point for me, unfortunately. So having Uber as a possibility was super freaking nice because I could sign on, I could sign off. And honestly, I really like the people. I'm a people person. Like, I loved meeting the different people of Altoona and hearing their stories and like getting to know the area more because I'm not originally from Altoona. I grew up between State College and Huntington area. That's more where I'm familiar. So I loved hearing the history of Altoona.
You're not allowed to have an opinion on Blair County. You didn't live very long enough.
Apparently, I moved there in 2014, and I lived in Duncansville, my first apartment. And my first apartment was at Sunbrook. And of course, I was
always
there.
hated
Everybody,
delivering to that place. That
it's
was
such
awful.
a bitch to figure out what's what and who's where.
Yeah,
But
the
thank
numbers
God-
don't make any sense at all.
No, they don't. But the only reason I had ease with that is because I did live there for a while, and I was smart enough 9 times out of 10 that when it was a weird number, I would just message and be like, just come out on your balcony and like yell, and I'll find you. Okay. Eventually, as soon as I knew which part of the building you're in, I'll figure it out from there. I'm good.
Well, before UPMC like fucked everything up and had me running out to Bridgeville every day, most of the time in the evenings, there was always an evening delivery out there, and it was just, I mean, after you're there enough times, you can find your way around the place, but it was a pain. And it's night, and
Yeah.
you're knocking on people's doors to get signatures, and because there was one night, and they had told me that this guy, that keep in mind, it was like hospice, so these people were, not doing very well. A lot of the treatment was basically they'd just give them morphine so they'd not be in pain until they died. Essentially, that's how it is. Yeah. And this one guy, I guess, was doing really bad. And they specifically told me, he needs his meds, blah, blah, blah. And, of course, it's morphine. It's a narcotic. You got to get a signature. So I'm knocking on the door. His wife comes to the door. It's like freaking screaming, go away. Go away.
I think I remember.
Go away. And I'm like banging on the door. I'm like, hey, I got his like I'm yelling as loud, hey, I got his medication, So finally, I don't know if it was like a like revert back to basic training or whatever. So I take my ID out and put it up against the door, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, this is who I am. And she kind of looks out, and I held up the box. I'm like, medication. Mm-hmm. And then she said, oh, I'm so sorry. We got some crazy kids around here and stuff. I'm like, that's fine. But that's what used to piss me off, too. It's like they wouldn't even tell these people.
That
you have these rush deliveries, but they don't even know you're coming. And it's like 9, 10 o'clock at night. Like, that woman had every right to tell me to get the fuck out of there. She had no idea. Some random guy's beating on her door in the middle of the night yelling at her,
Well, that reminds me of the one evening, kind of similar, like Uber. I dropped off this younger couple from Perminis, and they literally, it was to Hollidaysburg. It was a 15-minute drive max. They both passed out. They were both very intoxicated, but they slept. I got them there. But for some reason, I'm driving down the road. I get this thought. I look in the back seat and I see there's a credit card. I'm like, shit, that's their card. It probably fell out of their pocket when they pulled. So I turn and I go back and I'm knocking on the door. It's like 1 something in the morning now. And sorry, guys.
Man, somebody's ears probably just exploded if they had headphones. No, that's good. I have the noise blanker on there, so it's all right.
But I'm knocking on the door, and this little old lady, like white hair in her little robe, like she comes, like I see her peeking around the corner with a ball bat, like shaking. And I could see her, and like I take like 3 steps back from the door and I put my hands up. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to scare you, but like I just dropped 2 people off here. It was a younger couple. They left their credit card, and like we're talking through the door, so I have to like yell a little bit. And she like drops back. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you're the Uber. And I was like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I just wanted to return their card, and I didn't want to leave it in the mailbox. That was sketch. But that's the thing, like especially like with what you were doing, and that's what used to infuriate you and me when you would tell me about it. It's like, these poor people, like, how hard is it to still let them know that this stuff's coming? And like, why the heck was it getting shipped out of where it was? It didn't even make sense why they were sending you the whole way out to Bridgeville to pick certain things up.
Yeah,
there's so much to unpack with that, but everything about it, like, you were trying to do your best to help people out. It wasn't exactly a happy job knowing with what was going on, but you were still trying to help people out. So it was infuriating when you were
I mean,
scaring the hell out of these poor people in the middle of the night.
I got paid to do it, so I can't be like, look at me, Saint John of a whatever the hell. I forget what that means. You know what? We're just gonna have to repost all the memes on the new page too. So
Yeah, and the Manders.
still have them somewhere.
Yep. Well, because we're admins, can still get on the page. So if anything, we'll just go through it and.
Well,
start
and
pulling
there
what we
was like an
can.
appeal thing, so I don't know. I don't know if it was just like a glitch or if like all the hate clubs got in there at once and were like report it, because it's weird. Every other, because like I said, we've had 2 pages before this go down over the years. I mean, they're going back to like 20. I think 2017 was the first time the original one got taken down.
Yeah.
And usually, like, I know back in the day, I almost just quit posting the memes because it was like if you posted anything that was a picture and somebody reported it, it almost like no matter what it was, it just got taken down and that was a strike against you. So you'd get like a billion strikes against you in one day and then they'd take the page down. The weird thing about this is nothing, to my knowledge, we haven't gotten any notifications that anything was taken down. So I don't know. It does. I mean, like I said, honestly, I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did because our well, yeah. I mean, and you know what? Shout out to Tanya because she's doing more to vet Republican candidates than like almost anybody else, and George too. But the Republican Party, I think, has just gotten lazy because they do own Altoona. They don't vet candidates. And that's part of the reason we have Brian on here because it's like, oh, here's a fresh face, but he's an evil liberal.
And honestly,
even though he's obviously not when you talk to him.
Exactly. And we're actually going to have him on here again. We were talking a little bit last night and would love to have him on here again. And he's agreed. So we're just basically figuring out.
Oh, it obviously chapped some asses because I don't know where that random post from Tim Faker came from. It's like the dude just completely chases clout. And it was because, okay, so there was a little bit of a controversy there with the Renae thing, and he just jumped, well, I wish we had a legitimate corruption page. And then he says that we run the fucking coalition page, which we don't.
We addressed that, I think, last show.
I don't know how many times I have to address that. Yes, I created that page back in 2017. I have someone else who runs it because I literally took everything down there I was so fucking burned out after the Amy Webster election.
Yeah.
Dealing with Lacker's bullshit. I mean, that was just insane. That was probably because the stuff got heated with the Huntington thing, but that was by far the worst. Absolutely by far the worst. And the ultimate, most hilarious fucking thing was then the very next election. What is it? Oh no, guys, Amy's no good. We're gonna, give our dark money to everybody else this time. And then she wins again. Which, I mean, we still got the general. Which, you know what? It would be hilarious if 2 of the Democrats won and unseated Amy. I don't think it'll happen, but in all honesty, like, I know everybody will be like, well, they're, at the county level, they're, as far as like the social issues go that Republicans and Democrats don't agree with, at the county level, there's not really too much, like, they're not going to, you can't ban abortion or, legalize however many weeks of abortion you want. And I think I've already gone over my opinion on that. Like if people want to prevent themselves from reproducing, I don't know why we're trying to stop them. But
to quickly touch base in the comment section, though, Miss Kylie, I absolutely agree. And Miss Kelly, we would never hate you over a political issue, like over a party thing. Like, and
Carol
I do.
Taylor. Yeah, I mean, I have
There's so much going on.
I have no problem having a discussion because, like I said, especially locally, you'll find that the difference between Democrats and now there are a few extreme people out there or whatever, but I mean, I'm sure people would say I'm extreme about some of my views, which that's fine. Guess it's extreme to have an opinion that doesn't fit the narrative. I mean, it is. That's literally that's what it is. But yeah, state and national. I mean, there's. Like I said, I don't
these comments because it's giving me hell of a time and I'm getting frustrated.
Yeah, and yeah, the other so the other Democrat, there's Carol Taylor, who like she's running as a Democrat, and then can't even think of the one that's in there now. Sorry. Oh yeah, we can have Carol if Carol wants to come on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I'm gonna have to call her Miss Taylor though, because my mom's name is Carol, and I feel
Laura Burke. Yep. Laura Burke. I know there's a lot of people that don't like Laura, but
we see the comments. I just can't do anything.
That'll be interesting because if it does go to Republicans like it normally does, it's basically so for once, you know, the general election actually comes into play in the commissioner's race where you either have Carol or Laura, because only one of them's going to get it if the two Republicans fill the top two, which they probably will, because that's what always happens. But and you know, any candidate that wants to come on here and you know give us their spiel, like go for it. I'm all for it. I like doing interviews. And we are 3 spots. Yeah, but wouldn't there be 2? That's what I'm saying. We usually have 2 Republicans and 1 Democrat. So that's where the real election will probably end up being between Laura and Carol. Because I don't. A lot of people don't like Amy Webster, but a lot of people do, and I think it'll come down to that. You know, well, I'm not voting for a liberal, and I think that's why Amy will probably. And I think Dave Kessling pretty much has it in the bag, at least from the, you know, the results from earlier. So,
again, guys, I've been trying to react to the different comments, and the phone isn't letting me.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think Dave Kessling has it in the bag. That's just my like. Obviously, don't let that dissuade anybody from going out and voting. But that's just if you look at the way the primary went, I think it's just a shoe-in. So.
No. Is it always like this for you with your phone? Oh, that worked. Wow.
Is it your nails?
No, because I'm using the pads of my fingers. I don't really have nails.
Well, because I know on mine, if like obviously I don't grow my nails out, but if they're getting long at all, I have trouble typing sometimes.
Yeah.
And yours are definitely way longer than mine ever are.
Oh, definitely. But, you know.
Yeah, Amy, and that's the same thing. And I don't know if we got any Huntington crowd in there tonight or not, but literally the exact same thing happened in Huntington between Reader barely edged out Kurt McConaughey and Bryce. I get that. I completely get because it is so fucking polarizing, and it's ridiculous because people don't look. You get that label, oh, you're the dirty liberal, and then they don't give a shit about anything else. You automatically, you're just nope, voting R, and yeah, that I completely.
We definitely need
that.
to have him back on again to
definitely.
talk more because it definitely chapped a lot of people's asses, but it also got people thinking because.
Well, I mean, he has a good. He's a fighter. He's like, exactly. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do what's
because he gives
maybe
a
I
shit.
won't do everything right the first time, but I'm going to give it my best and I'm going to shake things up. And I think that's what this area needs. We need to quit doing the same fucking thing.
He is wild, but that's why we love him. Honestly, we need a different kind of energy in Altoona right now to keep things good. Something has to change.
Yep.
It's been the same thing over and over and over again, and everybody in Altoona can see that that's not working.
And hey,
if I was there, I would definitely go.
I have a few people in mind, but I think we need to really start looking around, start putting some ideas in some attorneys' ears of, hey, maybe you should run for DA next go around. Because I think we really need a solid challenger to Pete Weeks. Because I think if it had been Pete and Bob Donaldson back when Consiglio shouldn't have run again, but he did anyway, I think Bob could have beat him. I think Pete's beatable. But it's going to take the right person, and I know the problem is the people that are best for the job don't want it. That's because honestly, like Bryant probably really doesn't want to be mayor. I think he even said that.
I'll vote for you, Kylie.
He's doing it because he wants to help the community, not because he wants the job. So
exactly.
But those usually the best people. But then you got to convince them to get in on it. So, I mean, if Bryant, because it's not going to be easy. Everybody knows that. Pacifico, just his name by itself is a freaking powerhouse, right? Although, his whole infidelity thing, considering, Dave Cervello has been bankrolling him this whole time, I'm surprised Dave's not out there with like a picket sign every day at City Hall resign. I could see Dave doing that. Yeah, exactly. If you're smart, you don't want it. It's about wanting to make a change.
Exactly.
Hell yeah, man.
I'm getting better with the clicking thing. I'm getting more. I'm figuring the phone out, guys. If you can't tell.
And you know what? Politics is like anything else. Sometimes you got to lose a couple of times before you can win, and there's no shame in that because every race you do, you learn because it is a skill to run for office. There is a skill to learn because I know just like I'm gonna go ahead and name drop Sean McClintock because I like him. A lot of people don't like. I like him, and I learned a lot about elections and just kind of because it's when you first come into it, you're like, oh, the best ideas win, and there's a whole different ball game about how you actually run for office. Yeah, Scott says he learns. I'm sure you did, dude, and I guarantee you, if you ran again, you'd learn even more because it's like anything else. There's always something else to learn. So,
What's that one quote from? What is it? Edison, I think. Is it Edison about the light bulb?
oh,
He
he was the one
didn't
that
fail 101 times. He found 101 ways not to make a light bulb or some shit.
yeah.
Again, I could be wrong. I'm sorry.
Honestly, Thomas Edison. I'm more of a Nikola Tesla guy.
That's fair. I'm just saying that's just the quote that popped in my head because that's one thing that like where my brain went when you were saying that is silly as it is. When my little brother and I used to play video games growing up, when I would beat him, he would always get really upset and he'd be like, "Man, you beat me again." I was like, "No, I didn't beat you. You just learned a different way to not get your ass kicked in this game." And honestly, to this day, certain combat games, I cannot touch that child. He definitely learned a lot. Every single time he lost, it wasn't actually a loss. It was a huge win. He learned something. And I cannot touch that kid on certain games.
I remember when I used to beat my brother at video games and he'd get all mad and then my parents would be like, stop upsetting him. You're just tormenting him. Yeah, but whatever. Hey, maybe he'll fucking call in one of these days.
That'd be great, actually,
I don't even, the way things are going and he's still in, like
I know.
Who knows? He could be halfway around the world by now.
I hope not.
It's just, I don't know. We're in a very weird time. It's like where every day you wake up and I remember Kylie even mentioned this earlier. It's like we're, living in a parallel universe or an alternate reality or this is a simulation or, it's just, it doesn't feel real anymore. It's weird. Still waiting for Tim Faker to tell me what corruption wasn't covered on the page that he was worried about.
I mean, I never ran politically for anything, but like the few times I've put myself out there, like in the art field, when I did my resin thing, like Sci-Fi Con, I had no idea if I was going to do good or not, but I put myself out there and I learned so much. And then the Weebs in the Woods up in Johnstown, and I really wish that they weren't closed now. They did a little day con. I went up to that. There was 5 of us, and honestly, it was a lot of fun, and it turned out really well.
Well,
and then I did the Jaffa Shrine, and that went horribly, and I learned, okay, this is not my niche.
Would do better at Sci-Fi Con if the guy that runs it wasn't such a rolling douchebag.
That's right. We said it, Casey.
Well, they just pick on people.
Now, honestly, I would love to actually have a conversation with Casey Bennett and understand why and how he's trying to justify this price hike on the tables. Because there is, again, a lot of rumors going on with the Sci-Fi Con.
It's just a rumor.
It could be. I hope it is. But like from what we're seeing, it's kind of bullshit. I love Sci-Fi Con. I went as a guest for years. As soon as my child was a year old, I took her to the con because it was such an amazing experience and I wanted her to grow up in that kind of thing. And I've kind of watched it in a way devolve in a way that makes my heart hurt. Well, I just want...
You know what? Now that Deb says that about her running, I will never forget the time when she basically gave her speech about Operation Our Town. Oh my God. Like you could just feel like the rage in the room of, the establishment that was like, this is not the place for that. And oh my God, it was amazing. I'm so glad I was there for that.
Did you react to that comment? I'm having more of a problem clicking on the comments now. I can react to them when I get it to
Let me
do
see
it.
if.
Yeah, is it me? Apparently it is me because you're having no problem.
Well, but I mean, I'm used to using an Android too, so
And that's why
that's probably what.
Yeah, okay.
I think you just need to get used to it and get a case and a screen protector.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I can only imagine about. I'm sure Bryant pisses people off. And see, that's the thing. Like, I'm not criticizing him. I really wish I guess it was the Tea Party that ran that debate. I really wish they could have got either get the live stream to work where it's actually watchable, or just record it and post it after. You know, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of benefits to having the live stream. But if you have bad internet or whatever, that's fine. Just record it and post it later. Because, like, I feel like that debate was probably awesome. You know, mostly for Bryant, not so much for Matt. But
well, that's what made me
I
mad
still
because
would've-
you were watching it the best of your ability.
it was
And
painful.
It was painful. And, like, it almost always seemed like it only was cutting out on Bryant. But you could see, like, they had finished their question to him. And even if you couldn't hear it, you could tell that there was no hesitation. He had an answer. He was rattling it off. And I was more angry because I couldn't hear what he was saying because I wanted to hear this debate. I don't like this kind of thing. But, like, I was like, what?
Just the opening. And this is why you can tell where Bryant is. I think he is what he says he is, where he's a go-getter. He didn't go up there and, read off. Like Matt Pacifico just read, because that part, as much as it was cutting out, I don't think he hardly made eye contact with the crowd. If he did, that must have been the part that cut out, I apologize for defaming you, Matthew. But Bryant's just like, I don't even know if he looked at notes or anything. He's just boom, boom, boom. And, if you want to change things, that's the kind of person you need to be running the show. So.
Mm-hmm. Getting a little better at keeping up with the comments. I'm excited.
Well, and that's that question about Operation Our Town. I really wish, because I think I heard like half the question, and I distinctly remember like through the frames that were cutting out, like Pacifico literally turned around and like, I don't know if it was in disbelief or what, but he actually like had to turn around and like reread the question or something. She's over by her bowl.
Okay.
She's fine.
All right.
Hello,
Hello, Miss Josie. Wow. I'm not surprised to hear that, but wow. Apparently, Bryant had no notes. But,
yeah, I'm not surprised.
I'm not either. Not surprised, but like, wow. Wow. I'm laugh reacting at that, not because I'm not laughing at you, but I'm laughing at him. Just so you understand. I figured it out.
Right.
I can click on these now. Kind of. Fuck. I jinxed myself.
You know what? I'm gonna have to re-upload the desk humping video too.
Oh no! Please don't. That no. No, I don't even want to think about that. Please no.
That's hilarious. Don't you have fun at work? Like, no. Can confirm. Literally have never humped a desk at work.
Okay. I jinxed myself apparently because now I'm having a hard time clicking again. I'm figuring it out.
Notes are kind of hit or miss for me. Like literally I almost just have to have like bullet points of like, because if I have too long of notes, it's like I just start reading them. Whereas if I just have bullet points, and like a lot of times even on the show, it might actually be better to do that so we could like hit all the topics we want to hit. But at the same time, it's
You're
like,
never going to actually look at the list.
Well, I'm not going to look at the list, but like I just like doing it. It's just more organic to just go for it, Whereas if everything I'm saying and
I think it comes down to the individual at the end of the day, I think, in that aspect. But at the same time, like if notes are one thing, but if you have everything written out in front of you and you're like verbatim reading an entire sentence.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with how comfortable you are with public speaking. Because like I used to be terrified of public speaking. Squirrel. And I don't know what happened. I've probably mentioned this before, but when I was in high school, I had a band and we played at the talent show. And that was like the first time I was ever up in front of anybody, like a large group of people. And I was just like in the fucking zone. And then after that, I was just, public speaking didn't bother me anymore. I mean, yeah, if you're up in front of a crowd, like you get a little bit of adrenaline every once in a while, but it's almost like more of a good feeling, you know? Because, well, when I was in,
Oh, hang on. Really? Apparently, yeah.
praise God, that's hilarious.
I am laughing at the comment, but I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at her, just so you know.
Well, so here's the funny thing about that. So when she posts that, you know, I'm gonna have to get on and take a screenshot, and then I'm gonna post. Oh, is this just like when Trump got taken off of Twitter? I think she'll lose her fucking mind.
And honestly, guys, like you said at the beginning of this, it's not the first time that the page has gotten taken down. It's not about the numbers for us. We don't give a shit. The point is, obviously, there's already a new page.
Like I said,
We're
I'm
not gonna
surprised
stop.
it went as long as it did.
Yeah,
I
honestly.
really am.
Me too, honestly.
The Trumpicles. The Trumpicles.
Oh, gosh.
He sent me some pictures of his Trumpicles.
Oh, my God.
Oh, and the funny thing is, because, you know, when Paul did that stupid live video that was, by the way, in my opinion, one of the worst lives. Like, that was worse than the debate. Like, it was less painful to watch the debate, which was pretty painful, but not as painful as watching no. Well, yes. You know what, Josie? She does know that. But
because we've literally only said it 1,000
She just
times,
repeatedly,
you know?
I don't know why, she just made it up. Because that's what, she just makes up shit. That's like, oh,
That's what she always does. That's what she's always done.
That's why she called in a bullshit call and got fired from her job. You know, according to her sister, because he slandered me.
And, you know, without saying too much from what State College PD said, because obviously they can't say much about certain things. But in my opinion, from tone, again, solely my opinion, I'm almost positive that they insinuated that was right. Because they were not happy to hear that she was on her bullshit again.
Well, and the best part was, so like, we just made the post about, hey, call it whatever, because we knew it would piss her off. And she's like, well, you know, you guys are too stupid to know. They're not even my jurisdiction. It's like, obviously, we fucking know that, you idiot.
You know what else is great? You know what else I'm going to enjoy? Port Matilda is this itty bitty little town that has one major gas station.
And there's going to be some motherfucking salamanders
Oh,
at that
they're gonna be
motherfucking
everywhere.
gas station.
Oh, they're going to be everywhere. Every single place I can think that they can drop them off in a public location, especially the little gas station. Before she starts throwing a fit, I have a friend, and I also have family literally right down the road from you.
Yep.
Literally right down the road from you.
Yeah, and another point Brian brings up, and honestly, this is just kind of a problem with all the local stuff. It's all these, like, super soft, which I don't remember all the questions from that one. Maybe it was because the Tea Party, like, I think they try to do better than all, but I know, like, the Huntington one that Ted Simpson was in, it was literally, like, asking the most softball questions you could believe, and he still managed to come up with bullshit for, you know, like, I brought in 200 jobs when I represented Sunoco. You know, when he had... And what he did was, so I guess he was basically in charge of security at part of the pipeline. So he hires all these other guys who are also constables, and then they wear their constable uniforms to the job.
Hang on.
Which is...
There is no constable uniform.
Well, it's whatever they're...
The only... hang on.
Or
I
what,
can
did
say
they-
this. I can say this 100% honestly because my dad was actually a constable in Huntington.
What were they wearing? They were wearing something that identified him as a constable.
The only possible thing that you can get, and it's not a true uniform, they literally only give if you go and order it yourself because it's technically not required. It's a patch. And you can iron it or have it sewn on to your sleeve, your chest, wherever, if you want it. But it's up to you.
You know, Ted
Oh, of course he did.
wants the full...
He's
Ted,
full battle rattle.
yeah. Ted goes to get his coffee,
My
and he's
question
got his
also
fucking
is, how the
Kevlar
hell
helmet
you
on.
you can't hire other constables as another constable. Like, being a constable is an elected position. People have to elect you because a constable isn't to the county, it's to the state.
Well, I think the issue was, at least from what George said, that they were working private security, but they were representing themselves as constables,
I can
which
see that.
you can't. That's...
It's not right,
It would
but
be
I can
just
see
like
them
an
doing that
off-duty
shit.
police officer being in uniform there. It's... So, yeah, the that that's another thing that was hilarious was, when I posted my satire video, and the only out of like the 10 questions I rattled off, the only thing Paul addresses is, oh well, we we actually harassed 2 people in Tyrone, and my Kevlar's real. Jesus Christ, man.
I'm sorry. My dad, like I said, he was a constable for Pennsylvania for, I'm not even going to try and guess the amount of years, because it's eluding me right now. It's been a long ass day, guys. I'm tired.
Yep.
But before that, he worked in the sheriff's department down in Virginia. But like, when he was a constable in PA, I was a teenager, so like I was aware of it, and honestly, I was really interested in his job. I did most of his paperwork, frankly, because, sorry, Dad, you're not really good at paperwork. So I did a lot of his paperwork, and honestly, once I hit 16, he let me ride along to certain things. He never wore a vest. 9 times out of 10, he never wore his vest, because it's not that. It wasn't about, being battle rattled out. Like, you're going 9 times out of 10. It's
even the probation officers. A lot of times they show up without anything.
Like, a lot of the warrants that my dad was serving, it was like, you got a parking ticket or a traffic violation and you didn't pay it, or you didn't show up to court, and he just shows up. He's like, hey, you didn't do this. Now you have to pay X amount of dollars on top of this X amount of dollars. Do you have the money? Yes, no? You do? Cool. Go in and pay it, please. You don't? When will you have it? Okay, well then I'm going to leave and let you handle that. If you don't pay it by the time you just told me, I'll be back. And you're kind of come with me.
Yeah.
But he wasn't dealing with like really dangerous people. Like, it was usually really simple shit. The only one person that he ended up dealing with that was quote unquote dangerous, he didn't even know. And when it happened, I think I was like 17 at the time, and we were told that we're not allowed to like be near the mailbox. Apparently he had a warrant for somebody who had other warrants from another state, and this person was actually pretty incredibly dangerous, and that's about all I know. And Dad bumped into him, pissed him off, and that was the only like dangerous person he encountered as a constable, basically. Elsewise, it was simple traffic violations and shit.
Right.
Worst thing he had to worry about was maybe a dog trying to bite his ankles, and at that point, he got in the habit of stopping at McDonald's and loading up on cheeseburgers.
Happens to the best. Of all the places I've delivered to that have dogs, I've only ever had 2 issues. And one was this place like right across from East Freedom Walmart that you didn't even know the dogs were there. There was a doggy door, but there was no sign of the dog. As soon as you knock on the door, they're like out there biting your ankles. The other one was, I wasn't sure if I was at the right house, but it was like everything was overgrown, and which that's kind of common down here. So it's not like, oh, no one lives here. Like, no, someone lives there. But this freaking like angry German Shepherd comes out, and it's just like, it's, angry at me for some reason. So I just kind of like barked back or whatever, and it wasn't sure what to do. So I just like hopped back in the car and got the fuck out of there.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, like, honestly, like, you can't really blame the dog. The dog's just doing what it's supposed to do. And that's why Dad got in the habit of carrying cheeseburgers. So, it's like the one guy he had a warrant for, no one could ever get it delivered because he had, like, 5 pit bulls that would always come out. And honestly, they weren't, like, your stereotypical angry pit. They would come running to the gate, excited.
Right.
But people would see their pit bulls and freak out and leave. So Dad had the brilliant idea. He literally went to McDonald's and just bought a bunch of cheeseburgers and like littered them through this dude's yard and walked up to, knocked on the door, and he's like, "Oh, some good dogs you guys are." But he was actually super chill about it. He really didn't realize that he, had something against him. Seeing his dad showing papers, like, "Oh crap, man, I'm sorry about that." Literally left with Dad, followed him to the courthouse and paid his shit off.
That's hilarious.
It was one of my favorite stories I ever heard, because honestly, like, my dad was very adamant. Like, he would rather get bit to hell and back before he ever did anything against a dog, because dogs are only ever protecting their people and their properties. It's not their fault ever.
Yep. That's a fact.
That's how I've been. Like, there's so many times through life where I've been around dogs and people are like, "You're insane." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I have 2 giant Rottweilers running at me when I'm 10, and my thought is to drop on my knees and go, 'Puppy, come here.'"
Well, and that's the thing too, because even these people, you go to their house late at night to deliver, meds that they freaking need, and you end up in precarious situations. Because a lot of times, especially down here, you can't even you got to call them like 20 minutes, 30 minutes ahead because you're not going to have a signal when you get there. They don't answer the phone anyway. You leave them a voicemail, and then they'll call you back like 2 days later, like, "Oh, who are you? What do you want?" You know. So it's just
Real quick in the comments, Miss Kelly, I think Miss Josie is right. I've tried to drop pictures in the comments. I don't think you can during the live or after the live. That's one thing I haven't figured out yet either.
Yeah, I don't know.
But if we figure out a way, we'll let you know. But as of right now, I don't think there's a
No, it
way.
looks like you can only do stickers, emojis, and avatar stuff.
It's
so.
probably because it's live, and if it would be something sketchy, quote unquote, they wouldn't catch it in time. We're not saying it. Whatever you wanted to post was going to be sketchy.
Well,
That's
what
just
would
my
happen
only
is
thought
it
is.
wouldn't go against community standards, but it would. But it wouldn't. But it would. So, whatever the fuck that means.
Your guess is as good as mine at this point.
I just love how like Krazy's celebrating. Yes. Now the Pred scammers can come back. Like, bitch.
Nope.
Well, see, and here's what I learned a long time ago too. Anything that's just like with the Paul DeVeglia files, put it up on. I've never had anything taken off of WordPress, so like, good luck going after that because there's shit up there from years ago that definitely chapped some asses and it's still there. But that's the thing is.
The point of our pages is not how many people follow it. We're just out here putting out the information for you guys to think about. And it's backed up in enough places that definitely won't take it down. Facebook's just kind of convenient to stream, and it's easy for you guys to watch.
Yeah, and if it starts getting ridiculous, then, like I said, we'll just stream on Rumble and we'll be fine. So
exactly. We're not going to
too worried
stop.
about it.
Doesn't matter how many times page gets taken down. We're never going to stop what we're doing.
Yeah, they say a third time's a charm, so. But it is ironic that our page, gets taken down, but then Krazy's page, it's just nothing but complete made up bullshit about people that have nothing to do with any of this. I don't know. But there
it'll
again,
be
like
what it'll be. We're just going to focus and keep doing what we're doing, and
Yeah.
that's what's going to take our energy. It's not worth wasting our time.
I
over that
guarantee if
bullshit.
her page got taken down, she'd probably have to like unalive herself or something. So
That is one thing we should probably start watching is like some of our words, I guess, because that's the only thing I can think is that like Facebook is so sensitive over certain.
Well, it seems
like
like
phrases and wordings.
YouTube is really bad. Facebook, it doesn't seem now that the Shapiro thing did kind of get shadow banned a little bit, I think, because I don't even think Rumble put that one up yet.
People thought that we were bashing that program because we asked a question about a rumor that was posted on another page. So we literally just started asking some questions and encouraged other people to, instead of just, immediately just trust the program, to ask questions as well. Suddenly that turned into us hating and smearing and all that jazz.
I will do that, Devin, but you better call in for that one because
agreed, Miss Stephanie.
I know there's some firefighters out there that have axes to grind, no pun intended, and rightfully so, because fuck Richard Lacker. All right.
I need to take a second. I'll be right back, guys. Hello, Miss Sarah. Thank you for joining us.
The Janicles.
I'm having a hard time. I have a new phone, just to let everybody who's new in the comments
Honestly,
right now know.
you just want to call it a night because we're already an hour in.
We are an hour in. Honestly, I'm tired and I need to start figuring out how to click stuff more on this phone.
All right,
it's hard.
I think we're just gonna call it a night here, guys, because I'm getting tired too. So.
And I need food. I'm hungry.
And Maddie wants to sit on the couch, so.
Oh, yeah, she does. She's ready to hop up there, but she doesn't want to actually hop up there. She's a princess. She needs lifted.
Yeah. She won't let Abby pick her up.
I don't even try. I know better.
Pick up the dog, you get the teeth.
Yeah, I know better.
All right, guys. Well, hey, we appreciate you checking it out. Remember, share the backpack thing, donate.
If you
so
can,
all the retards that are like, you guys are destroying the program, make sure we get as much money as there's ever been in there so we can give them the double barrel middle finger.
Our goal is by Christmas to have that wish list completely knocked out.
That is, I'm not even going to lie. Like, I appreciate that we'll get to help kids, but it's more to spite those motherfuckers. So at least I'm honest, right?
You're honest.
At least I'm honest.
You're honest.
So, all right, guys. Well, until next time.
Have a good evening.